Today on Craft Table, we'll be creating color block planting pots perfect for your herbs or succulents. And the kids and I will be using a lot of the same supplies to create a fun planting pot of their very own. Let's get crafting. My name is Kristin Gambaccini, and this is Craft Table. So today we're going to be making a color block planting pot, which is so fun. But I want to talk a little bit about plants first, because I love plants. I feel like you can't have too many kids and you can't have too many plants. Just joking, I have 8 kids, that's plenty, but I can't help but be attracted to them, just like I am those cute baby cheeks. Anytime I'm at the grocery store or at a store that has live plants, which is pretty much everywhere nowadays, I'm attracted to those plants and I have to go look at them, and usually I have the desire to bring one home. Now, it didn't always used to be this way, because whenever I brought a plant home years ago, it was pretty much to bring it home to its death and funeral. I could not keep houseplants alive. But I've learned some tips and tricks that I want to share with you real quick to help you keep your plants alive if you're struggling with this as well. They're nothing revolutionary, it's nothing that's never been heard of before, but these are tips that I've learned on my own. The first being to read the tag. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes we tend to skip over directions when it comes to making food or following directions when it comes to building something from the hardware store. The same goes with our plants, and you'd be surprised how much information these little tags actually give you. Most importantly, where to place your plant. There's plants that love sunlight, there's plants that don't love sunlight. It really is an important factor when figuring out the best place for your plant to live. The second tip for you is watering. I think just like parents and kids, when we have our first couple kids and we tend to be those hover mothers and we shower them with love and attention and all of the things, we do that with plants a lot, and we tend to overwater them. We finick over them and we give them too much. So the best tip I have, and what works for me, is to do the finger test, and that is really just taking your finger and putting it down into the soil about 1 inch close to the plant. If it feels dry to the touch, if you feel no moisture, you can water your plant. If you can feel moisture on your finger, let it go. Now, if that method doesn't work for you and you still feel like you're watering too much, the saucer method is the way to go. And that is the saucer that you're putting underneath your pot, which everybody should have, especially if you're placing your pot over a wood surface. It's going to help prevent rot or any sort of water rings from overwatering. Even if you don't overwater, I spill water all the time when I water my plants. So these saucers are a necessity. You can place the water in your saucer, place the plant on top, put it back in its home, and just let the plant absorb the water on its own. And when the saucer is dry, add more. The third thing you want to remember when buying your plants, especially right now, because these little baby succulents are all over the place, they're so cute, we're so attracted to them because they're adorable. What you're not thinking about when you buy these a lot of the times is the fact that they're going to outgrow their pot. The same as our children outgrow their clothes, the plants will need to be upgraded in their pot. And keeping them in a pot that's too small is going to inhibit their growth and cause a lot of problems, which will eventually lead to your plant probably dying or at least not doing very well. So when you're buying these adorable little plants, think long term. Think about the fact that you are going to have to change that pot, change the soil, upgrade its surroundings. So I hope these tips will help you live a long life with your plants. They're great for you. They're great for your air. They give you good feelings when you have them in a room. Just give it a try. See if you can do it. I really think that you can. And if not, there's plenty of adorable fake plants out there that you can replace it with. But in relation to changing your pot, one of the things that I've noticed in my years of having a lot of indoor houseplants is that planting pots can be very expensive, especially the pretty and trendy ones. And so what I've created today is a fun planting pot that is color block, which is all the rage right now in decor, in art, even in clothing styles. And it's a very, very simple way to upgrade a plain plastic pot. I like to get my plain plastic pots off Amazon. You can usually get 5 or 6 pots. They're just white, they're plastic, they're very inexpensive, and then I can dress them up and do what I want to do with them without spending a lot of money. So I've already taken this, and what I've done is I've taken my painter's tape and I've taped the outside of the pot and taken it outside, and I actually spray painted it gold. Now this can be done by hand. You can place your painter's tape and paint it by hand gold, but I really like gold spray paint. I like the way that it sits on a surface. I like the shine it has. If I'm using gold paint, I tend to spray paint it on if at all possible, and then hand paint anything else if I need to. So I've already done this. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm actually gonna remove my painter's tape so you can see how I have taped this off. Now I've got quite a few layers, so it is gonna take me a minute to get all of this off because I wanted as clean of a line as I could get. Now, if it's not perfect, it's okay because we're gonna be painting colors on the top and bottom, so it's not gonna be perfect anyway. But that's what I love about homemade and crafting decor, is that it's not perfect, but it's adorable the way that it is. So as you can see, I'm gonna get my second layer here on the top. I went ahead and painted the rim gold as well. That is something that is definitely up to you. You could have taped all around this as well and maybe done a third color block with it, or you can spray paint it gold like I did. So I've got my last layer of tape here. So there we go. As you can see, so we have the layer of gold, and it's not perfect. It looks like my paint kind of bled through, but that's okay. And then we also have the layer of gold on the top. Now I'm going to use a coral and a green color for painting the top and bottom of my pot. This is really up to you what colors you want to use. Totally your choice, but I have to admit coral and green right now are my favorite color combinations. So to start painting this, you'll see the paintbrush I have. This is actually my favorite paintbrush to use when I'm doing anything hand painting that needs kind of a detailed edge. It is an angled brush. It's great when you're doing detailed work and you want to make sure you're getting a crisp line. And as you can see, it's very dirty. I use this for a lot of different projects. I also have another smaller paintbrush that is just a flat paintbrush. This is great for filling in once I've created my line if I wanted to use it, but mostly I'll just be using this angled brush here. So I'm gonna dip my paint in, and what I'm gonna do, it's okay, remember, we're not going for perfect, so I'm just gonna trace this gold all the way across. So as you can see, I'm kind of just going through with this angle, and I'm just kind of trying to stay on this gold line, and then I'm just gonna fill in the rest. The key with working with paint like this, acrylic paint or craft paint or any kind of paint that you have, is light coats. Just, you want very light coats, let them dry in between, and then do a second coat. You can see it doesn't look great. It looks very uneven, it looks very blotchy, but it'll get better after we do coats. I'm having a feeling that this particular project is probably gonna take me about 3 coats of paint. So I'm gonna continue on here with my green. The other thing you want to remember is if you do happen to get it on your gold and you don't like it there, you can really just wipe it off with your finger and just kind of redo that spot. It's easy to clean up. So I'm gonna get this all cleaned up, and I'm gonna move on with my coral color in the middle. And then we will let it dry, and then we'll move on. So I'm gonna move on with my coral color here in the middle. I'm gonna let this coat dry and then continue on the next step. So I have my pot here, I've got my paint on it, it's all dried, it's really cute. I can leave it as is, but you know me, I like to do a little bit extra and do a little bit more. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna add some gold circles. Now, I could take a dauber brush, a small, foam brush, and paint gold circles on. But what I'm gonna do instead, because I have them left over from another project, is I'm just gonna take gold stickers and put polka dots all around. Again, it's kind of like a choose your own adventure when it comes to crafting. You can either do this step, you can skip this step. It's really up to you, but I like using the stickers too, because if I change my mind at a later date, which chances are high I will, I can always remove the stickers and still have a very pretty color block vase, or I'm sorry, planter's pot. And so we're just gonna put them randomly in spots. Now these stickers are actually left over from a project I did where I took my bar stools. I just have plain bar stools at my kitchen counter, and the little wood tabs that cover up where the screws are on the bar stool were driving me crazy. So I took these gold stickers and covered up those wood tabs, and it just added a little touch of fun and gold to my bar stools. I love little things like that, little things that add an impact to your space. That's what I'm all about. So I'm gonna put maybe one more here, and then I'll show you one more thing that you can do with this that's so fun. Actually, I just saw a spot that looks like it could use some sticker love. Okay, right there, perfect. So the next step is, again, totally optional, but these little library tags are really popular right now in furniture. You see a lot of people putting these in front of their dressers or maybe drawers that they have in their kitchen, and you can add a label, super cute. I've used these on my herb jars. I like to buy really cheap, inexpensive ones because they're bendable. And the reason I like that is because I use them on my herb jars and my jars are round. So I can bend these and hot glue them onto my jar. Also, you can bend them and put them on your pot if you have, let's say you're planting herbs in your color block pots. This would be so cute. I've bent it just a little bit here, and the thing about these is that you can kind of shape them, so if you bend it too far, you can fix it. You're not necessarily gonna break it, but how cute is that hot glued onto the front? Slip a little tag of basically white paper or even cardstock cut to size with your label in there. It would be adorable. I love that. I'm gonna hot glue that on right now because I am in love with that. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of hot glue. Now, these tags are made so that the paper actually can slide in here at the top. So you wanna keep that in mind when you're hot gluing. So I'm actually just gonna glue the sides and the bottom, and that way I can still slide my tag in and out, especially if I change my herbs, although I probably will not because I am a basil lover. If you are looking for an herb that is easy to grow, easy to maintain, and will give you plenty of fresh produce, I'm telling you, herbs is the way to go. I love them, herbs. Basil is the way to go. I love the smell, I love the flavor, I love how easy they are to grow. I could have endless amounts of basil plants in my home. And there you have it. Just missing the tag, but it's cute, it's trendy, so fun and easy. I hope you enjoy it. Have fun making your own. Happy crafting.
From high school sports to community events and beyond, you can find all of your favorite local shows on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Hi, I'm Kristin Gambaccini from Craft Table. You can check out my show as well as other local favorites such as Medina Minute, Cooking with Kelly, and Leisure and Literature on Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Check us out right now on Channel 100, or search Armstrong Neighborhood Channel on YouTube for playlists and much more. Spirit, town pride, community. This is the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
Hi everybody, I'm back with Rosie and Bash, and we're making these adorable planter pots from the same kind of pots we used in the last craft we just did, our color block planter pots. We're using plain white plastic pots, inexpensive, with plastic saucers that we've actually already painted the colors that we wanted. So what you'll need for this craft are the plain plastic planters pots. You'll want wood beads. We have colored wood beads here, but if you go to the craft store and buy plain uncolored wood beads in bulk, you can color those with paint or marker. You'll need some painter's tape, and we'll need yarn. We have our saucers here, which are also just plain plastic, but we've already painted them the colors that we wanted. So we're gonna get started with this project. We're so excited. We love having plants, especially plants of our own, right? So the first step is going to be to drill our holes for the arms and legs for our plant people. Super simple to do, especially because we're marking our spots with painter's tape. Now the reason we're doing that, and I actually already have Bash's holes done, the reason we're doing that is because the painter's tape helps to grip the plastic. We're drilling through shiny plastic, so a lot of times when you start with your drill and your drill bit, it's gonna slide all over the place. And this tip works for wood as well. It just helps keep your drill bit in place so you're not sliding all over and possibly ruining the surface of what you're trying to drill. So I'm gonna go on ahead and drill Rosie's because I have not done hers yet. And I'm gonna do it here with the kids, but what I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna move this guy because I don't wanna knock him over. I'll move him over here. Okay, so I've got my painter's tape here for the arms and the legs. There's no right or wrong way. I just kind of eyeballed it where I thought that it would be cute for them to be. And I'm just gonna come down about 1 inch on my pot and just go right through, there we go, right through the plastic. You'll get some leftover plastic pieces that you'll have to clean up, but for the most part, it's a pretty quick and easy process. And then I'm gonna do the feet. Again, when you're doing the bottom for the feet, you wanna make sure you're not going underneath the pot. Make sure that you're still up here in the front of the pot. And as you can see, this painter's tape is really catching the drill bit and keeping it from sliding all around. Watch your fingers, honey. There we go. We've got our holes drilled. You might have to just clean them off a little bit, but that part is done. So we're gonna remove the tape. You wanna do that? You guys wanna take your tape off? Go on ahead and peel it off. Good job. Here, I'll hold it for you. It's impossible. It's just like taking off a Band-Aid, right? There you go. Perfect. Got it. One more for each of you, I think. Oh, nope, Rosie has 2 more. You're doing good. Now one more, yes. You want me to help you get that one started? Just over here in the corner, it might be easier. And then pull it out. Perfect. All right. Okay. So we have all of our painter's tape off. We've got our holes drilled. The next step is going to be to run our yarn through the wood beads that actually already have the holes in them. Most wood beads you find at the craft store right now, runaway wood beads. Most wood beads you find at the craft store right now are already going to have the hole in them, which makes it easier. If they don't, I strongly suggest finding some that already do have the holes, but if you're dead set on the ones that you have that don't, you can drill holes through them. Just an easier step to skip. So a trick that I had shared with you when we made our ice cream cone garland was to take your yarn or your string, if you're going to try to run it through a small opening, and actually tape the end up to make it so it doesn't fray and gives a very solid surface to go through that makes it just easier to run it through. So that's what we're going to do for this. Okay, so we have our tape on here, and I actually did it a little bit longer because our beads are a little bit bigger, and you want to make sure that it's long enough to go through. Bash is happy with just the pot and the beads inside of it, but we'll continue with the craft. All right, get one of your beads out, buddy. Yes. Let me get Bash started and then we'll make one for you. So you can see, I'm gonna just push this all the way through and pull it out. I would say I like to eyeball stuff. I don't measure stuff very much, which is probably why a lot of my stuff doesn't always turn out the best. But I'm gonna make these about 6 inches long. So I'm gonna cut the yarn at about 6 inches. So to attach the bead to the yarn and make it so it actually stays in place, I'm gonna take the yarn, bring it around the back of the bead, and run it through one more time. And this is gonna securely hold the bead in place. And I will still tie a knot here at the end, but as you can see, I've run it through. This is the part that's gonna go through the hole. This is the part that's gonna dangle. I'm gonna tie a knot here. So let's go ahead. So we have the tape, we're ready to go here at the end. Now this is something the kids can probably do on their own to run the yarn through these holes, but they might need help too, it just depends. You could do one long yarn piece and go from hole to hole with the arms. We did 4 separate ones. Either way is fine. Obviously, if you do separate ones, we're gonna have to knot the yarn on the inside of each hole to make sure it stays in place. So it really is just as simple, it's pretty, as running it through your hole and then tying a knot to keep it in place. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm probably going to just tie it around this yarn to keep it in place and to keep it from moving around. But you could also go inside here and double or triple knot it to do it that way as well. Either way is fine. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So let's get these on, let's get these tied. All right, Rosie, you can do this part on your own. So just take one of these and run it from the outside of the hole to the inside. Take one of the yarn and you'll run it from the outside hole inside. Nope, starting at the outside. Yep. Yeah, and then bring it through. That's perfect. Got it? Okay. And then we have to tie a knot. So I'm tying a knot. Yeah. I'm gonna do a double knot, and then we're just gonna cut this extra stuff off. All right, Bash, you can do the next one if you want. Take your yarn with your tape and put it through this hole right here. How is it going, Rose? Good job. Got it? Here. Don't hiss at me. You did it! Good job! Now you want to run your other one on the other side for your other arm. And don't worry if these seem like they're a little long, because we can adjust the length after we've finished attaching them. Squeeze it together real tight and make it smaller if you need to. Perfect. Look at, I didn't even get the right knot. Do one more. Okay. Yeah, babe. Hold on 1 second. You did so good. So we've attached the yarn, we've knotted them in. It was kind of a process, but we did it. Rosie did almost all of hers on her own. And as you can see, if these were to sit on the shelf, these little legs would dangle, the arms would dangle, but they're not quite done yet. We're gonna add faces. Now for my face, I just used a Sharpie marker, but you can also use googly eyes, you could use colored markers, really whatever it is that you want. Totally up to you how you want to make your face, but I'm gonna let the kids make their own and just do whatever they feel like they want to do. You ready to make your face on your pot? Okay, so Bash and Rosie decided to go with the googly eyes and they did their smiles. Rosie, you want to show them your smile? They're perfect. The next step is going to be to add the googly eyes. I'm going to use hot glue. You can also use craft glue, but the hot glue is going to dry a lot faster. So I'm going to be the one that's going to do that just to be safe. So let's put the lid. They're actually not stickers, honey. Mommy's gonna have to do it for you with a little bit of hot glue. So hold on one second, buddy. Let me get the hot glue on there. We've got 2 spots for 2 eyes, and then 1 eye. Perfect. And then, oh, this is so cute, Bash. You did a good job. Hold it up. All right, Rosie, are you ready? Okay. Perfect. Rosie drew a whole face on hers, which is adorable. So we have 1 googly eye. These are tricky to pick up. All right. Oh yes, be careful though. Don't touch the hot glue. Perfect. Push it down. And we are all set. We have made, these are so fun, so adorable. Perfect for little succulents, perfect for herbs, perfect for really anything that you'd want to plant in here. Did we have fun? Yeah. Yes, we did. Great job. Happy crafting.